So there's a few things I want to go over before I begin. The way I'm going to do this is that I'm not going to full out explain things. I want us to go on a journey. So when we come to a part that is referenced earlier, I'll point that out, but I'm not going to tell you exactly everything because as it unfolds, it starts becoming more obvious. I'll do sums of what videos are about and what's happening, what to look out for. You can start the unraveling of what is Rhee's Rapture. Also, I am going to reference the archivist document made by a wonderful, talented writer. She dedicated a lot of time and she knows the game backwards and forwards, and she writes so beautifully. I am lucky to be able to share a player's perspective of going through the series. So I'll reference that. I want to point something out right now, is that as you can see, all the thumbnails are animated. They're frames. See its eyes opening. And also, I thought this might help others. Maybe if they wanted to get into the series, so I wrote sums of each act and put them on the playlist. I think it might be easier for someone to go and walk through a series, so I'm happy to make it easier for others who may be interested in the series but don't know where to start. Hopefully, whoever stumbles upon it will get something out of it. Let's get to it. An introduction. The first video on the Rhee Kim Han-gul channel was released. Girl in a Room, my horror show. What should we name her? Caught on camera. In this video, we meet a man called Rhee, who seems to have a dark appetite and a deep interest in horror. Rhee is revealing his new horror show that's all centered around a girl that he met online some years ago. Rhee started to watch this girl and decided to let the world watch her with him. We can watch her together. What do you want to call her? What do you want to call her? In one comment, a user by the name of Monsters suggests that he calls the girl Rapture. In another comment, a user asked him if the distorted audio in the background was talking about lemon-scented hate. I believe it's from Meg Myers' Lemon Eyes. Very perceptive of you. Lyrics and songs may hold meaning. So music is going to be important. Interesting. The description reads, what should we call her? Translated from French to English, this says, girl in a room, I like to watch her. Now let's go to the video.
Nikes and people have different appetites, but if I can speak for kind of the majority viewer, I think people get the pleasure of this kind of horror.
This is my new project. I met her online a few years ago. I started to watch her. This is This is our secret.
Ah, fuck. Wait.
We can watch her together. What do you want to call her?
So that was the first video. If he said something you couldn't quite understand, it was in French. It's just repeating the same word as there's like a running away motion. It says, she saw us, did she see us? She didn't, but that's what it says. So Liv is correct in that video lyrics do hold meaning. Kind of give a hint to the overall picture or things that the character wants to say or feel what's going on inside their head. So they're very important. From the first video, you gather that he hacked into some girl's webcam and she's oblivious. He says that he's been watching her for a few years and that she is his new project, and he wants to invite viewers, which the viewers he's talking to are anyone who stumbles on the YouTube channel. This ARG is considered a live ARG. Of course, I didn't know if I would get players or who would interact, or if anyone would interact. There is a plant meaning that there is a person in the crowd that is part of the series, but people may not know that they are. And this is who Monster is. Monster was planted there to move the story forward. Later on, you discover who Monster is connected to and why their name is Monster. If you go to Monster's channel, you can see that their playlist is pretty gross. Suspiciously, someone responds to Rhee very fast, and the previous channel was called Rhee Kim Hangul. And I want you to put that in the basket and remember that, because it comes back in Act 4. And also I want you to pay attention with each episode. It transitions into the next one. There is a lead up. So in the last episode, he asks the viewers to name the girl. The viewer named the girl. And so this is that. And after this, it goes into the other one, and so on. This is how the series goes forth. Let us look at the lyrics from McMyer's Lemon Eyes. Hush now, baby, there's no need to cry. Let me wipe away those lemon eyes. All your worries, such a waste of time. You can't even see how much you're mine. You're so bitter, bitter, bitter yellow. Settle, settle, gotta settle down. Okay. Listen, you listen, yellow. It's a killer, jealousy. Lemon eyes, you're mine. Yellow eyes, all mine. I bet you wanna walk away, run away, look away, turn away. Honey, you can't hide. Lemon eyes, all mine. Hold on, baby, careful what you say. You've been drinking someone else's pain. I can't keep on staring at the sun. Yellow, I will have to bite your tongue. So that kind of gives a little bit of hint of how this character feels in a certain way. And pointing out of eyes, jealousy, bite your tongue, all your worries, such a waste of time. You can't even see how much you're mine. So there's a few things that you can take from that. Is he talking about the girl or the viewer? Is he relating it to himself and someone else? Or maybe all three. So just think about that. Alright, let's now go on to video 2. The second video on the channel releases Our Girl Named Rapture, Blondie, My Real Horror Show webcam hack. In this video, he revealed the name of the girl to be Rapture and updated his channel's name to fit that. Welcome to Rhee's Rapture. Rhee was listening to the song Rapture by Blondie while watching the girl. Rhee's tone changed as the video shifted to footage from some kind of crime movie or bondage scene, and he began to discuss the sensation he feels committing crimes. The sexual urge is strong. I was stimulated even more by the crimes themselves. For that reason, I always driven to find a new victim. Sometimes even when I slit my victim's throat, I had an orgasm, sometimes not.
Sometimes not.
Maybe I should message her. The description reads, "It's fun to find friends with similar hobbies." Translated from French to English, this says, "My friends, the girl's name is Rapture. Do you like our pet?" The title of the video mentions something called a red room. For those who are unfamiliar, they are rumored to be a service on the deep web that allows you to pay to have a victim tortured and or killed. It is possible that he worked for one, or still does. So I just want to point something out real fast. In the document, says his name is Rapture, and I feel like I did that on purpose, but I can't remember. So I corrected the translation. That was the perspective of the player. They wonder if red rooms have anything to do with this. I think they may be onto something. So let's now go to the video and I'll explain some things.
We have a name. Are you having fun? Are you having fun, monster? We like to have fun.
So a few things I want to point out in this video is it starts out with these flashes from a movie, and this movie is called Natural Born Killers. Well, I'm going to talk about it in perspective of the character and why he put these things in there. So Natural Born Killers is a movie about this couple that goes on a rampage and they start becoming this sort of celebrities almost in the media, and people glorify them in a way. This is a quote from the filmmaker Natural Born Killers, 1994. It is the filmmaker's most direct statement about the relationship between media, myth-making, and individual agency. In Natural Born Killers, the media no longer preserves and produces impressions of history. Instead, the media sees all. The media is all. The message of Natural Born Killers is not that violence is engendered by the system, or even that violence is inherent in the system, but that violence is the system. Referring to the first quote, "The media does not just record events, it creates them. The media dictates what is in and what isn't, what to focus on. The media is an illusion of the truth at times." The use of media in this series points to the same rhetoric, that there is what you see and what you hear. There is truth, but you have to dig deeper to find it. This series also sends a message that we have become a part of the media, even if we only consume it. The views indicate someone is watching. You are a part of this. With YouTube, TikTok, and social media readily available, we are able to broadcast a fantasy version of ourselves to others in massive quantities. The media has changed, but not for the better. Natural Born Killers highlights the thirst for violence and morbid curiosity, allowing us to watch tragedies from the comfort of our homes, thereby depersonalizing the people we are watching. Rhee is creating a live horror show, and he wants not only for you to watch, but also be part of it. Something I point out in my series: how the media influences, exploits, and manipulates people. Up next, Blondie's song Rapture. I'm gonna go over those lyrics. Wall to wall, people hypnotized, and they're stepping lightly. Hang each night in rapture, back to back, sacroiliac, spineless movement, and a wild attack. Face to face, sightless solitude, and its fingers popping, 24-hour shopping and rapture. I found this interesting interpretation of the song's lyrics. They start by saying, it's about environmental destruction and overblown consumerism. Not that I'm saying it is that simple, but in one sentence, that's what you get. There is clearly a lot about sex, But this too is related to the commodization of the act. Look at how they deconstruct the human interactions. In the song, when dancing close, the body is breathing almost comatose. They aren't grinding pelvises, they're back to back, using sacroiliac joints, indicating that they are trying to interact as little as possible with each other. When they do face each other, they don't look at one another. Without human connection, what is left? The things we buy. And then it goes on. She seems to say, the rapture is a myth. No one is really going to come down and destroy you, but your things are going to be taken away from you, by you, and the way you live. And you will be left with what? Each other. Thus, the song provides a tidy message. Don't relate with your things, relate with each other. The song is more relevant today than ever. Get up. The song is suggesting that instead of focusing on temporary happiness by buying into the system, we should try to replace possessions with something valuable, which is human connection. Rapture is being portrayed as an object to be owned and shared with others, not as a person with feelings. A similar theme to Natural Born Killers, where the media exploits and dehumanizes people. Rhee is shedding a spotlight on this by marketing his series as interactive entertainment. He's showing us that this is the nature of humans. It is horrible, but why not own up to it? You are what you eat after all, and we often get lost in consuming media and products. So I'm going to play the rest of the video and talk a little bit more about it.
The sexual urge was strongly developed in me, particularly in the last years. It was stimulated even more by the crimes themselves. For that reason, I was always driven to find a new victim. Sometimes, even when I seized my victim's throat, I had an orgasm. Sometimes not. Maybe I should message her. Maybe I should message her.
I want to point out right here, there's some subtitles. 20 years ago, I saw the demon in my dreams. I was waiting for you. In my dreams. I want you to put that in the basket as well. In my dreams, I was waiting for you. Images of demonic depictions are flashing back and forth between the YouTube comment containing Rapture's new name. By doing this, Rhee was showing the connection with a more sinister reason for having the audience name her. Keep in mind the importance of a name, the importance of words in this series. He also brings up violent urges, dealing with strangling his victims and the compulsion it causes. This is considered a paraphilia. Paraphilias are persistent and recurrent sexual interest, urges, fantasies, or behaviors of marked intensity involving objects, activities, or even situations that are atypical in nature. So in this, he's saying that he is excited by violence, that he gets gratification from it. So why is he sharing this? Especially in just video number 2. That's not how you make friends. Maybe he is also trying to make the viewer feel either, do you want to help her? Like come out and try to like help her, or do you want to do something else? So in the bottom comment, you see Monster again, and he's into it. Monster is like pushing for more unsavory things. There hasn't yet been people that came out to help her yet. As I mentioned before, this series is a live ARG. I was lucky enough to have found players not too long after creating my series. Because these videos can get a little long, I will be breaking them up. At the end of the 3rd video, I will do a recap of events and what to look out for going forward. On to the 3rd video. Let's go check out the document and see what Liv says. Unplug your webcam. That's funny. Rhee's Rapture. The 3rd video on the channel releases. Rapture, the message, webcam, dark web, girl, real horror. Rhee messaged our new friend Rapture and talked to her about her Twitch stream. He introduced himself as one of her viewers. Rhee revealed at the end of the video that he knows where the girl lives. We opened an Instagram account and advertised the project under various tags to build up hype. I use these terms because there are hashtags that sometimes bring creepers out. I mean, I didn't tell anyone it was a game. I was still, pretending it is very real at this point. But as I went on, this video kind of changed things. So this video, I decided to make it less realistic. So we're going to watch the third video. The audio is changed a little bit. If you want to watch the series as intended, please check out the channel. But for review purposes, the videos aren't going to be exactly shown as they are on the YouTube.
I message our little Rapture. Isn't it better not to be alone? Better not to be alone. I know where she lives. I know where she lives. Oh my god, the You will see.
So, first thing I'm going to point out is the moon and the significance of the moon. This is a French film called A Trip to the Moon. The spaceship, which looks like a bullet, has landed in the moon's eye. This could be metaphorical, as to say, he set his rocket into motion and has landed on unknown territory, to the displeasure of whoever may try to stop him. This footage is again shown a few other times. Over Discord, a flash of a demon is shown as Rhee tries to establish communication with Rapture. Notice this flashing is very similar to last episode. but as he's talking to her, a demon flashes. The demon's image comes from a movie called Antrum. The director thought that by creating a film considered cursed, it would make for a good horror movie. This demon appears throughout the series of Rhee's Rapture, sending an uneasy feeling of being watched and followed. If you take into consideration the meaning of the film in which the demon appears, you could say this is a reference to being cursed or some dark ritual being summoned. Many terms introduced in Act 1 reappear later in the series. You may have noticed that he is typing and erasing messages. He is doing this to tease the onlookers, as Rapture is unaware, but the viewer is not, baiting whoever is watching either to come and help her or join him in the violation of Rapture. Let's now go to the lyrics of the French song that is played throughout the video. Vocals were removed from the review of this series. A reminder to please check out the actual videos on the Rhee's Rapture YouTube to watch the videos as intended. For the flame that you light in a poor or rich bed, for the pleasure that is consumed there, in canvas or satin, for the children that you revive in the cherub dormitories, for the anonymous petals like the morning rose.
Thank you, Sam.
For the thief that you cover with your tender and russet sweater, for the doors that you open for him in the lair of the rich, for the condemned that you watch over at the Abbey of Robber, for the rum that you recommend to him and the butt that you serve him.
Thank you, Sam.
For the stars that you sow in the remorse of assassins, and for this heart that still beats in the chest of the whores, for the ideas that you disguise in the minds of citizens, for the storming of the Bastille, even if it serves no purpose.
Thank you, Sam.
For the priest who gets exasperated trying to find the gentle lamb, for the basic wine he takes for Chateau Margaux, for the Antichrist to whom you give the two colors of your country, red to be born in Barcelona, black to die in Paris.
Thank you, Sam.
For the anonymous grave that you made for Mr. Mozart, without a cross or anything except for show, a dog that is accidentally present at the funeral, for the poets you speak of at the bedside of adolescence, when in the accomplice shadow grow the evil flowers at the age of 17.
Thank you, Sam.
For the sin that you give birth to in the midst of the strictest virtues, and for the boredom that will appear in the corner of the beds where you are no longer, for the bales of hay that you make graze in the field like sheep, for your honor which will never appear on television.
Thank you, Sam.
For all that and even more, for the solitudes of kings, the laughter of the dead heads, the means to bend the law, and let me sing for your good, in the world where muzzles are not made for dogs.
Thank you, Satan.
The song's meaning can be interpreted different ways. For Rhee, he was expressing that the world is not black and white, that there is a spectrum, a give and a take, good and evil. Evil has a sense of freedom to it, but everything comes at a cost, which is another big theme in this series, especially as players come into the picture. Before moving on, let's open up our imaginary baskets inventory for a little recap. Rhee's previous channel's name before changing it to Rhee's Rapture. The importance of lyrics, the significance of words and renaming others, demonic imagery, hints about the media, objectification, and the illusion of what we see. Red rooms. The subtitle, I Saw a Demon in My Dreams. Words from the lyrics Lemon Eyes that stand out. You can't see how much you're mine. It's a killer jealousy. Bite your tongue. I bet you want to walk away, run away, look away, turn away. Careful what you say. Listen. In the third video, things that stand out are an image of a moon with a damaged eye focusing on the destruction to the eye and the starting of a trip, an image of a demon associated with the cursed film, the words, "Isn't it better not to be alone?" and the repeated word, "I am the devil." Most of the lyrics in the French song, especially in the world where muzzles are not made for dogs. In the next coverage video, things will intensify. I'm looking forward to talking about this more. If you like this video or have a question, please leave a comment. Until then, see you later.